Mm. Yeah, so this the special stress is being given to the Vaishnavas. So the opposite is saying the previous verse is saying that how if they invite the saintly person goes there, and if they though they are poor, though they are materially attached, but if they have some piety to invite them, at least when they come, they invite with great respect, devotion, offer something so that it becomes glorious. But on the other hand, opposite thing is spoken in this. Even though they are full of opulence, material prosperity, and any householder's house where devotees are never be allowed to come in, and not at all giving any kind of welcoming gestures. So that consider that house is considered like a tree in which all venomous serpents live. It's a striking example. So we never go to the tree only. Generally, sandalwood tree or mango trees are considered like a, especially mango trees also, lot of serpents in the fields, serpent stays. So people are quite fearful to go near only, especially in the evening times. So that's how it's considered. Hmm. Special dress is given to the Vaishnavas. Yeah. Or what defines who is the real Vaishnava? Vidandi Vaishnava, Ekadandi Vaishnava. So especially here, Tirthipadiya especially refers to Vaishnavas. So that's what Prabhupada's main point. One of the main points that he is trying to discuss about Vaishnavas. Tirthapadiya refers to not to the Ekadandi sannyasis, Mayavadis, but to Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas visit. Tirthi Kurvanti, he supports by quoting Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. Swantvaste Nagadabhida. It is mentioned here that any house which does not receive a Vaishnava in the manner already explained in the previous verse is to be considered residential courts of venomous serpents. Because they are, why serpents compared to serpents? They are very, very envious. When serpents are more envious. Even though we may not do anything, they always keep on biting. So that's how their envy is very much, of course, how Prabhupada is saying here. Please read the last portion.
It is said by Chanakya Pandit that there are two envious living entities, the snake and the envious person. The envious man is more dangerous than a snake because a snake can be subdued by charming mantras or by some herbs, but an envious person cannot be pacified by any means.
Kala Kena Prasidhata. Famous, one of the Niti Shloka, I think. I don't know whether I quoted it here. Niti Shloka, Chanakya says that. Hmm, uh, hmm. So here, the envy, they have a lot of envy in the heart, in the sense that why these people are glorious, why they have to just beg, why they can't earn money and do something for society. So many different various levels of envious nature is present. So that's why they are they are not at all glorified.
Prabhuji,
So yes.
so just want to share one thing. You may please correct me if it is wrong. Sometime in our working places like offices or even relatives, mostly offices, we feel that there are some person who are envious. And
Mm.
I'm to say I have got these both experiences I'm just sharing. Sometimes we just avoid them or just I mean to say we don't disrespect them, but we don't too much associate with them also. Because they
Yeah,
may be like criticizing, they may actually take up the things in different way. But
correct.
if you avoid them somewhere, then that is also one way they don't feel attended or they don't feel very nice. But if you will go very close, then that is also dangerous for us. So now
Mm.
recently what I'm doing is I'm just keeping a bare minimum relationship because otherwise they will trouble prone. This is my
Correct.
realization. So some
Yeah.
relationship, I mean to say talking hi, hello, we have to keep. We just cannot avoid that because then they feel
Mm.
again bad for that we are avoiding them.
Mm. Definitely, we need to do practical things, especially for outside people in general. Especially if you see that they are innocent, then we can definitely
No,
understand.
they're
If you see
envious,
that they,
straightforward. They're
uh,
envious.
yeah, the straightforward enemies means we should keep a distance, definitely. Though they may feel something, they may say also, they may comment also, no problem. Yeah,
So we
that's
should not keep any minimum relationship also, right? We should be always away. How it is?
yeah. I mean, if that whatever that extent which is not harming us,
Ah,
at
okay.
the extent that is not harming us, we can definitely have
The point is
this
true.
kind
What I
of
was saying that when we ignore them, we don't want to associate with them. That they know this thing that this person is
correct,
ignoring me,
correct.
and
Yeah.
they actually somehow the other way trouble actually,
Correct. Yeah,
and they
that's what I'm
criticize,
saying.
comment in for people.
Correct,
So
correct. Yeah, just to have kind of an official relationship,
yeah.
just a smiling. That's it. Yeah, that is everywhere. It will be like that only. Either school, college, especially for devotees, working place. We need to be careful. That's what we need to deal with. Yeah, Prabhupada also mentioning like this, all this envious nature, how they mention, Prabhupada is mentioning. They keep watchdogs, don't enter, trespass not allowed, beware of dog. All these are very much showing, these are all considered to be the residential quarters of venomous snakes. All these people who are not inviting at all, sadhus. Yeah, so both ways, Prabhupada Maharaj is saying. On the other one hand, who are inviting, though they are poor materially, spiritually poor by attaching to family. But if they can invite and respect a personality, sadhus, they are glorious. On the other hand, if though one may be very rich and one may be even spiritually renounced in the sense they may be kind of detached from material life, but if they don't have respect to the Vaishnavas, so then they should be kept at distance. They should be treated properly. Upekshita, we should be neglecting, not at all associating with. Basically, not associating means not following them, not hearing from heart, taking their words, following them, believing them, etc., etc. So that is mentioned. Okay. Now he's inviting them. Like here he is giving a swagatam in this verse. Swagatam vo dvijasreshta yadvartani mumukshavaha यद्व्रतानि मुमुक्षवः चरन्ति श्रद्धया धीरा बालयेवा बृहन्ति च.
Bharat Prithu offered his welcome to the four Kumaras, addressing them as the best of the Brahmanas. He welcomed them, saying, from the beginning of your childhood, you strictly observed the vows of celibacy, and although you are experienced in the path of liberation, you are keeping yourself just like small children.
Mm. So he is directly glorifying now. Till now he glorified little more kind of all sadhus, etc., etc. What is the glory of sadhus in general? But now he is specifically glorifying, started glorifying their specific qualities. So that is the main point here that he's particularly glorifying. You observed from your birth, you observed your celibacy, and you experienced. Externally, you are looking small, but internally, you are very big in terms of maturity. So generally, we see that the maturity means is growing externally, and internally, the real devotional maturity is seen when one is advancing in spiritual life. That is internal maturity. So although you are experienced, but you are keeping yourself like small children. So as we discussed that we need to properly see the Vaishnavas. So seniority is not maturity. Seniority, one devotee is saying that I heard that one who has seen the years, seniority, seen years only. But it may not be some cases maybe, not all the cases, but basically seniority may not be having the maturity or spiritual maturity. Doesn't always equal to the maturity. But here they appear to be small children, but they're quite advanced. They are Mahabhagavats, as Prabhupada mentions in the next verses. So we shouldn't go by external symptoms. So we should always try to see in a proper perspective. So that is the main point of this verse. And Prabhupada glorifies their celibacy, why they are called Dvijashreshta. Swagatam Vo Dvijashreshta. Dvijashreshta is explaining that they are best of the Brahmanas. Best of the Brahmanas means Vaishnavas also. Best of the Vaishnavas. Dvijashreshta. So in that terms, then Prabhupada explaining. And also they are Acharyas of Sampradaya, Nimbarka Sampradaya. They are the Chitush Kumar Sampradaya. So this is called Sampradaya Acharyas. They should be given respect. They should be best of the Brahmanas. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning. Please read last para.
Full paragraph or the yellow one, Prabhu?
Yes, I can read.
Maharaj Prithu specifically appreciated the position of Kumaras because they maintained the brahmacharya vow from the very beginning of their birth. Maharaj Prithu, however, expressed his great appreciation of Vaishnavism by addressing the Kumaras as Vaishnava Sreshta. In other words, everyone should offer respect to a Vaishnava without considering his source of birth. Vaishnavera Jati Buddhi. No one should consider the Vaishnava in terms of birth. The Vaishnava is always the best of the Brahmanas, and as such, one should offer all respects to Vaishnava, not only as a Brahmana, but as the best of the Brahmanas.
So the first offense to the holy names is to blaspheme the rewards of the Lord, who are dedicating their life, propagating the glories of the holy name of the Lord. So that is opposite. One should think all the 10 offenses to the holy name, they have positive connotations also, positive things that we need to be done. All the 10 offenses are like more of a negative injunctions. One should not offend, one should not treat devatas improperly, one should not disobey the orders of spiritual master, etc., etc. More are in negative terms, but they have positive terms. His Grace Mahatma Prabhu also, he mentioned in his new book, Japa, second level, he writes these 10 positive affirmations, 10 positive things about 10 Namapradas. One should glorify the Vaishnavas, serve them, please them, etc., etc. So yeah, one should not disrespect, rather one should appreciate, glorify the Vaishnavas. So that is the main point Prabhupada is bringing out, Vaishnava Jati Buddhi. Prabhupada could see many, many things in his life like this. Because just to share that I was reading one book, Srila Prabhupada Friend to All. There it is mentioned that even Gaudiya Vaishnavas were not taking water from the hands of the Western devotees when they were in Vrindavan temple. When devotees come to temple, especially devotees are from Gaudiya Vaishnavas, from Gaudiya Mat, when they come, then it's etiquette to be offered just like the verses are mentioning. They used to offer water, prasad, etc. They were not taking water also. And that was like very much concern for Prabhupada because because they are not accepted as a Vaishnavas only. So they were still seeing Vaishnava Jati Buddhi. These people are from Western countries and how it can become purified prasad. Even Mahaprasad also they were not taking. So it happened that in 1977 when he's about to leave his leave this world, I think then Puri Maharaj came, I think, to visit him. And that time he asked the disciples to bring Mahaprasad plate. And when they brought Mahaprasad plate, he requested Puri Maharaj to accept this Mahaprasad. So when Puri Maharaj accepted that, then Prabhupada was so pleased and when he very much satisfied and pleased and said that now we are being accepted as a bona fide Vaishnavas because he took prasad from the hands of the devotees. So, and that personality also could understand. Puri Maharaj also could understand what it means to take this plate. because other Vaishnavas, other devotees, many other devotees are not accepting anything. So, but he could understand the glory and the position of Prabhupada. So he accepted that, and the Prabhupada was so pleased, and he was thanking him. So I mean, by reading books and by reading certain things, what Prabhupada underwent, we cannot even imagine. Also, the subtle pressures, the subtle oppositions, and etc. etc. When I read that, I was really amazed. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu, for building that very nice pastime, very connected to this matter. Prabhu, in this shloka, can we learn like this? Then, when we welcome someone, we should also glorify the quality of that person. That is a part of welcoming. Because here Prithu Maharaj is welcoming and also appreciating his qualities of a brahmacharya and spiritual like this.
Yeah, generally,
In the purport, it is there.
yeah, definitely. So appreciated the position of Kumaras because they maintain brahmacharya vow. Yes, definitely they are glorifying, is glorifying. And we can appreciate who are, but generally the appreciation has to be more of a genuine relationship with, when we have good relationship, we appreciate them. So in appreciation, they should feel encouraged, inspired. And that is more of a natural, should not be more of a official. It is more of a natural appreciation for others. Yeah, definitely one can appreciate whatever qualities they have, qualities, we can appreciate them. Whoever it may be, especially here, Prithu Maharaj is appreciating their brahmacharya vow, continuing with the determination. We can appreciate definitely.
Yeah, thank you.
But it should be in flow, in a kind of a flow, it's kind of a genuine and natural. Then they also kind of accepting that appreciation. Yeah. Yeah, he specifically, the verses are in general glorified the four Kumaras, and specifically also is glorifying. And now he is trying to inquire from the sages. Kaschinna kushalam natha indriyartha vedinam व्यसनावापा एतस्मिन् पतितानां स्वकर्मभिः.
Prithu Maharaj inquired from the sages about peoples entangled in this dangerous material existence because of their previous actions. Could such persons, whose only aim is sense gratification, be blessed with any good fortune?
Mm. So he is like a kind of a asking a question kind of a thing. Inquired from sages about these people are all entangled in dangerous material existence because of destiny, etc., whatever. But how these people can be blessed with good fortune, whose aim only is to sense gratification, enjoyment in this world. So that was inquiry. The first is kind of a first inquiry. So Prabhupada writing about why he didn't ask Kumaras about their good fortune. Because generally when the guests come, we generally ask, oh, how are you? How are you doing? How is your family and business, etc., etc. And especially for devotees, how they are doing their spiritual life, etc., how it's going on, the preaching or whatever services they're doing, etc. We ask about them, but he didn't ask any kind of a thing. He just glorified and now he's asking question directly. So that kind of a Prabhupada is bringing out some subtle point. Yeah, please read.
Prithu Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj did not ask the Kumaras about their good fortune, but the Kumaras are always auspicious by dint of their life in celibacy. Since they are always engaged in the path of liberation, there was no question of ill fortune.
So that's the point that they're always, because they're always glorious. They are practicing spiritual life on the path of liberation. There is no ill fortune, no need to. Of course, the point, one more point will come in the later verses about how to understand this aspect. Why didn't I ask them their welfare instead of question?
Yeah.
So that will come once again. But here Prabhupada himself is bringing out in this verse only. Why didn't I ask what a good fortune? Because they are they're on the path of liberation. They're always fortunate. No need to ask specifically. Uh, in other words, Brahmanas and Vaishnavas who are strictly following the path of spiritual advancement are always fortunate. There is no any kind of misfortune for them. Mm. So, but Prabhupada is bringing out why he asked, for whose sake. So, though he is mentioning in third person a question, who are engaged in material activities, how they will be blessed with good fortune. So, Prabhupada is bringing out the question was asked by Buddha for his own sake, since he was in the position of Grihastha in charge of royal authority. So, what happens in the Grihastha ashram and especially kings? So, then Prabhupada explains that how it will be a little difficult position for them. They may have to cross the boundary lines of four regulated principles, being in that positions. So for that, in that condition, as a Prabhupada explaining in general as a for a king in the kingly position, so they are all caught up with these materialistic activities, and for them, how it can become what is the auspicious path. So though Buddha Maharaj is not on that one of the kings, but he is the extraordinary king. He is a devotee of the Lord. But just Prabhupada bringing in the point of, in general, the kingly position, how they may cross over the four regulated principles and they need to be delivered. In that sense, he is bringing out the point and explaining the only thing is that how they will can be purified. So, from their point of view, is asking question. So that kind of a purport Prabhupada gave. So clearing all these points, Maharaj Prithu inquired from four Kumaras that about the fallen conditions who are rotting in this material world due to their past bad or inauspicious activities in this life. About past life and in this life also. Is there any possibility for their auspicious spiritual life? So that's what the main question. And Prabhupada explained. And he's explaining two words, Indriyardhartha Vedina, whose aim is to satisfy and Swakarma be, they are caught up with their own bad activities. So what is the solution? And Prabhupada gives a statement, everyone is responsible for his fallen condition because of his own activities. So, and also solution he gives, when activities are changed to devotional service, one's auspicious life begins. Yeah, we are all caught up with our own swakarma. Even devotees, even Prahlad Maharaj and Vritrasur Maharaj, they also says that, my dear Lord, we are all just caught up in this material world because of our own karma. So that's the natural feeling of a devotees. And that's how they pray to the Lord. Please engage me in your service. So Prabhupada himself says that we have to change our activities. Then our auspicious life begins. Mm. So continuing to, if somebody says to Guru Maharaj that, you didn't ask their well-being, how the guys are feeling, etc. One should ask that question first. You are asking directly questions. No, Guru Maharaj is saying, no, that is not necessary for them. Since one must ask about welfare of the guest, and since it is improper to ask about their welfare, I will ask about my own welfare. In that mode, he's saying. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying that like that. So definitely one should ask the welfare of guests. Definitely. But
Is it
it's
like this, Prabhu? That is, someone is very, very senior. You ask them, "Aap
mm,
kaise ho?" So it is not good because we are not on that level.
correct. It's not very it's not very ideal because we are
It's not very
just like
correct.
the spiritual master is there.
Yeah.
We don't have any connection. We don't have much service with him day in and day out. If we go and ask Maharaj how is that, I mean it's not very proper for us to ask
Yeah.
like that. So, but their God brothers can ask.
Yeah.
Their God brothers can ask. So it's like that. So, I will ask about my own welfare. So that's what Pradhu Maharaj is feeling, and that's how he asked about himself. Indirectly, as Prabhupada brought out, we are all engaged in all kinds of soccer. Maybe we are caught up here, and Indriya, Artha, the Vedinam, we are troubled by all these things. How we can be benefited, how we can be blessed. So that was the gentle question he asked. And he's also saying about, in this verse also he's saying, specifically he's asking. The same question, little more specifically is asking. Bhavatsu kushla prashna atma rameshu neshyate kushla yatra na santi mati vrittaya.
Guruji, I have read 5 shlokas. I think other devotee can read.
Yeah, the devotees can read.
Prithvi Maharaj continued, my dear sirs, there is no need to ask about your good and bad fortune because you are always absorbed in spiritual bliss. The mental concoction of the auspicious and inauspicious does not exist in you.
So that's the same connection is mentioned in this verse. That there is no need to ask about your good and bad fortune because you are always absorbed in spiritual bliss. So this point is mentioned in this one. Next verse, he'll ask question, and previous verse also he asked question. How we can be blessed who are caught up in this mess. So no need to ask about it. So what denied is not asking per se, but asking about material things. So we should ask questions. We should inquire. We should ask how they are. How to advance and what is their experiences. Especially some senior devotees, we can ask also their experiences in spiritual life and their inspirations in their spiritual life and how they came to Krishna consciousness, what inspired them, what made uh, to dedicate their whole life in spite of so many difficulties, so many challenges from every level, country level, family level, social level. I mean, many things we can just try to inquire more and more. So, yeah, this can be asked and should be asked also. So, what Dinadi is not just asking per se, but material things we don't need to ask, especially when we are juniors, may not be at that level. Like that. That's what Prabhupada is saying. And Prabhupada is bringing out the purport, whole point in the sense of see Dvaita Bhadra Bhadre, Dvaita Bhadra Bhadra Gnana Sabha Mano Dharma, Yehi Bhala Yehi Manda, Yehi Sabha Brahma. So Dvaita Bhadra Bhadra Gnana, Manodharma, these are all mental concoctions. So Gnana Mativrittayaha, as is mentioned, Mativritta is a mental concoctions only. This is good, this is bad. All mental concoctions. Especially from material point of view. What is good, what is bad, it's simply, it's finally it's bad only, right now. Everything goes down. Just like if something is falling down, uh, if I catch any ball or a tomato on the top, if we leave and from building, it is going to be splashed on the ground. So the material life is like that. The moment we have taken birth, and things are going down only. In the sense, the body, though it appears to be growing certain time and then it's decaying certain time, it's everything is going down in this material world. So ignorance keeps on increasing day by day unless we endeavor to remove it. So that's what I'm mentioning, that material point of view, both this auspicious and inauspicious are all both inauspicious only. Finally, it will end in inauspicious only because Abrahma Bhona Loka Punaravartana Arjuna. So though we may say it's pious, so we go up, fetch seva sometime, again come down. So we are just caught up here and here only. So in that way, it's inauspicious comparatively. So in that sense, they are both are inauspicious. Please read. This is a higher person.
By material association, we lost our spiritual consciousness. Consequently, there is the question of the auspicious and inauspicious. But those who are Atma Rama or self realized have transcended such questions. The Atma Ramas or self realized persons, gradually making further progress in spiritual bliss, come to the platform of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the perfection of life. In the beginning, the Kumaras were self realized impersonalists, but gradually they became attracted to the personal pastimes of the Supreme Lord. The conclusion is that for those who are always engaged in the devotional service of the personality of Godhead, the duality of the auspicious and inauspicious does not arise. Vishnu Maharaj is therefore asking about auspiciousness not for the sake of the Kumaras but for his own sake.
He's asking not for their own, as we discussed, but for himself. And Prabhupada is mentioning that how we get into duality, both auspicious and inauspicious, because we lose our spiritual consciousness. Then consequently there is a question of auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. The more we are seeing everything in connection with Krishna, keeping Krishna as the center, though apparently it may be for a person, outside person, it may appear to be not very ideal, but still it is connected to Krishna and for the pleasure of the Lord. It's always auspicious. Just like some traditional things, many traditional, especially in India, and we have many traditional things to be done. So, but Krishna conscious personality may not do certain things, which may appear to be very illogical for outsiders. Of course, certain things we can do just for setting an example. Prathumara is doing, kings are doing yajnas for the welfare of all. Certain activities they have to do to set an example, but they don't have faith in them. Just all samskaras. And devotees may also do certain samskaras, certain things, just like Prabhupada installing the deities. So he always used to bring some South Indian Brahmins and install the deities. Even when he was taking sannyas, even for the sake of the Brahmanas who are chanting the mantras and all, and behind Kirtan was going on. And you know the story how Prabhupada was encouraging more and more, Kirtan more. And the Brahmanas are saying, stop, reduce the volume. So for certain things, Prabhupada just accepted for the sake of setting an example. Otherwise, people will not accept. People will not come to Krishna consciousness. Like Vrindavan temple, he invited all Brahmanas to do the yajna. Brahmanas to do yajna in many temples, especially in South India, Hyderabad and all. So he invited many Sri Vaishnavas to install the deities. But in Vrindavan especially mentioned, only just to, for the sake of people, we are inviting them to install. Otherwise, Krishna, there is no need of all kinds of many rituals. So just like in Western countries, Prabhupada never did any kind of great yajnas. Initially, he was just doing certain kind of arati, rotating candle around the Jagannath 7 times and asking everyone to rotate. That's it. It is only installation. So certain things quite illogical for outsiders. So, but perfectly from a spiritual point of view, from Bhagavad Gita point of view, they may not be necessary. But of course, for the sake of setting an example, we definitely do certain samskaras. And that helps us our purification also in the conditioned state. They are helpful to purify ourselves more and more. But for exalted personalities, when they do, it's just a certain example. Yeah, so that we understand that auspicious, inauspicious, especially from the point of view of Krishna consciousness, when they are not pleasing Krishna, or when Krishna is not in center, they may arise more and more. So that's the point here. Prithu Maharaj is saying, asking, or saying that no need to ask about your good fortune and bad fortune, because you are always Krishna conscious, always absorbed in spiritual bliss. So Prabhupada's main focus is about that the duality comes from when we lose in touch with Krishna consciousness. Like that. Yeah. Then he's saying, I have understood that you have come with purpose, with the purpose of delivering us. Therefore, it is suitable to ask a question about myself. This is internal dialogue. He thought him to himself. Tadaham krita vishrambah suhrudo vastapasvinam sampruche bhava etasmin kshema kenanja sa bhaved.
I am completely assured that personalities like you are the only friends for persons who are blazing in the fire of material existence. I therefore ask you how in this material world we can very soon achieve the ultimate goal of life.
Yeah. So, just like the previous, also he asked how we can be blessed, who are just caught up in this material mess. How can we be blessed? And this way, also almost similar lines. Blazing fire of material existence and how we can soon achieve ultimate goal of life. We are suffering here, how to achieve it. And Prabhupada explains how, why the saintly persons wander and how visit the materialists. They wander door to door. Those who are too much materially engaged, it is to be understood that they are not going to ask anything for their personal benefit. Not that they have some hunger problem, belly problem. They want to fill their belly just like Shodhya Goswami was going to door. Prabhupada explains there. He was not going just to beg some milk. He is going to benefit the other people. Just to give real information of the auspiciousness. Auspiciousness. So that's the main point. And Prabhupada also here mentions, please read this point.
This was not, however, a question for this. Yeah, this portion. This was not, however, a question personally for Prithu Maharaj. It was raised to teach the common man that whenever one meets a great saintly person, one should immediately surrender unto him and inquire about relief from the material pains of existence.
So there Prabhupada mentioning it was for Prithu Maharaj, he was asking for himself the question. So when he was mentioning that, he was asking from the point of view of a king, as a king. And Prabhupada explained how the kings may cross the rules and regulations, they need to be purified and blessed. Here Prabhupada raised another viewpoint that he was not asking for himself, but he is taking the role of a conditioned soul here. So for their sake he is asking. That's generally great souls identify themselves, taking the role of the people. There is one beautiful verse also in second canto, I think, about Parishit Maharaj glorifying Sukadeva Goswami Maharaj glorifying Parishit Maharaj. That what is the verse? He says that this is not your question, but for the sake of all people in general, you are asking these questions. Anybody remembers that verse? It says that. Okay, anyway, but there, Sukadeva Goswami glorifies Parishit Maharaj. For you, I mean, these are all necessary because you are a devotee. Mangalaya cha lokana. So just to lokana, Mangalaya cha lokana. So just to bring auspiciousness to all people in general, you are asking these questions. Yeah. So he's asking the fundamental question, why I am suffering and what is the relief from the suffering? Yeah, that's the question. Suffering, everyone has experience. But what is the solution? Prabhupada goes ahead to tell about solution. So everybody is suffering here in this world. Please read this underlined portion.
One can get rid of all these material pains only when he takes shelter of the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. This is also explained by Narottam Das Thakur. Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana Ratina Janmilo Keneta.
Conclusion.
The conclusion is that all persons in this material world are suffering from material pains, and if one wants to get rid of them, he must associate with saintly person. Pure devotees of the Lord and with saintly persons, pure devotees of the Lord, and chant the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That is the only auspicious way for materialistic persons.
So this is considered like a panacea. Prabhupada is giving the solution for all problems and not just mitigating the problems, but not only solving the problems, but for the perfection of spiritual life, to attain the spiritual perfection. The chanting of the holy names is the ultimate authority. So of all the 9 process of devotional service, chanting of the holy names is given the highest pedestal. So that's how we definitely practicing chanting the holy names. We need to more and more refine the process of chanting. So there are many sessions and it's a whole topic, japa retreats, how to chant, how to practice chanting holy names. So that we need to at least once in a year, we need to spend some time, 1 or 2 days attending the retreats. Otherwise, we are chanting definitely. But we need to, as Prabhupada mentions, we need to rise from Namapral to Namabhas to Shuddhanam to become perfect in our chanting the holy names. That is the only ultimate panacea, ultimate solution for all the problems. When we chant more and more, purify the heart and genuinely advance in spiritual life. This is one of the main process of 9 Naveda Bhakti. Of course, we have many other things to do in life, and we have responsibilities, family, children, job, and all. I mean, understood, but definitely it should be given some kind of some level of emphasis in our life. At least for my understanding, that at least once a year we can take out some time to hear or attend or participate in some kind of japa retreats, so that at least for some time we can try to improve the quality of chanting, as Prabhupada himself mentions in the quality of feeling when we utter the holy names in first canto 8th chapter. Kunti Maharani, Janmaishwara Shratashrebir Yedamana Madapuman Nai Varhatya Vidhatum Vai Tvama Kinchana Gocharam. There he mentions about the quality of feeling. If we are puffed up with all these 4 things, Janmaishwara Shratashri, one will not be able to call out the holy name of the Lord with the feeling. So it has to be refined more and more. So then one may be even suffering also, but one will be internally will be very much great experience and joy of spiritual life. So
Prabhuji, can you suggest some japa retreats for Pune devotees? Like for Pune, we have not seen in our temple japa retreat for a long time.
Japa retreats, I mean, all personalities, it depends on connecting to personality. All proper disciples generally, Viraj Maharaj, I mean, Sacinandana Swami Maharaj and Burjan Prabhu, they do. Burjan Prabhu sometimes comes to NVCC also. Whenever he comes, I think
Prabhuji,
last
your
year, I
voice
think
got cut for the past 1 minute.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Am I audible?
Voice is clear,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
yeah.
Voice is
Now,
clear.
now better.
Prabhu, Burijan Prabhu
Yeah.
has not come from last 3-4 years or 5 years. Maybe after
Yeah,
COVID.
yes, that's true.
Before COVID, it was there.
Last,
I think last 7 years back, Burjan Prabhu had come once. That time we had
no,
talked.
no, before COVID, no, after COVID also he came two times, maybe one time or two times he came. But he didn't do kind of a long sessions. He just gave one or two sessions. And of course, yeah, as a retreat, yeah, as you mentioned that I think it didn't happen as a retreat kind of a thing. Yeah, previously he used to come on 2 days, he used to spend full 2 days. Yeah, but physically, definitely online, there are available. Mahatma Prabhu is great. Mahatma Prabhu is also very good in terms of focusing on japa. His only Sajananda Swami Maharaj and that Giriraj retreat, I think they established. His guys Bhujan Prabhu and his only Sajananda Swami Maharaj. Both they do retreats in Vrindavan. So at least 2-3 personalities I know. But you can just check, you hear one or two personalities and then try to see how we are connecting with the personalities. But these 2-3, quite often they give japa retreats. Not all, not many try to take japa retreats regularly.
So, but when can we know that this is happening? Like, can we have
Oh,
some?
information you are asking. Information, yeah, you have to be some touch with these personalities in their groups, etc.
Prabhu, I heard
Hmm.
that every 3 months or so, there is always japa retreat in Vada going on somewhere.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. Because Mahatma Prabhu takes in Vada, I know. And them to say Vada is a place, if you just get connected, you at least once in a year or twice in a year, they connect somewhere 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, at least once in a year it may happen, I think. Yeah, but Mahatma Prabhu has his own sites, websites. You can just be in touch. Then they will definitely will come to know. Especially Mahatma Prabhu and Sajananda Swami, or the Giriraj Retreat Center. So these two are sufficient. If you connect with them, then they will definitely send
Yes,
the
yes. Thank you.
message. Thank you.
Thank you.
So sorry, actually today I have some service at 4. DT service is there. So we'll pause at 4 o'clock. We'll try to read maybe 2-3 verses. Okay, so this is the last verse of the first section, 1 to 16, where he invited, he welcomed to the Chatushkumars and is glorifying them, appreciating them, and also personally appreciated their qualities and is asking questions. And again in this verse, he's also again glorifying. That's appreciation is amazing aspect. So that's the nature of devotees. That he asks the questions, but again in this verse he's appreciating how they are not different from the Lord. In fact, Lord only is going around in this world in the form of these personalities. That's what he's mentioning. Very beautiful verse. Vyaktam atmamatamatma bhagavan atma bhavanaha swanam anugraha mam siddharupi charatyajah. Siddharupi charati ajaha. Charati is moving. Who is moving? Ajaha, the Supreme Lord, who is the translated as Narayana. Ajaha is translated Narayana, the Supreme Lord, is moving around Charati. How, in what form? Siddharupi, in the form of the Siddhas. These Chatushkumaras compared here are termed as Siddhas, Siddharupi, Charatajaha. In this form, the Supreme Lord is only going around. For what sake? Swanam Anugraha Imam in this world. Swanam for the devotees, whose own devotees. Anugrahaya for sake of showing them compassion. So he is only manifesting himself, the Supreme Lord himself. Vyaktam Atmatam Atma. So the Supreme Lord is moving around in the form of Siddharupis like you. So he is glorifying them. Please read translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always anxious to elevate the living entities who are his parts and parcels, and for their special benefit, The Lord travels all over the world in the form of self-realized persons like you.
Mm. So just like Prabhupada, they are great souls. So they are traveling around. They are not different from the Lord. Sakshat Daritvena. That's what Prabhupada also mentions, that they are not different from the Lord. What I mentioned here, yeah, I think this verse comes where Nanda Maharaj is glorifying um, Gargacharya, because Gargacharya came to his house. Then he glorifies saintly persons. Mahadvichalanam Runam Grihinam Dina Chetasam Nishresaya Bhagavan Kalpate Nanyata Kvachet. O my Lord, O great devotee, persons like you move from one place to another, not for their own interests, but for the sake of poor-hearted grastas, householders. Otherwise, they have no interest in going from one place to another. So Nanda Maharaj is glorifying Gargacharya, that how they travel from place to place. Of course, this verse is little more comparing the devotees to the Lord. In fact, Lord himself comes in the form of a devotee. And this verse may apply to the previous verses, how they are traveling for the sake of others, not for not for themselves, not for at all their selfish interests. So this verse is more specific glorification. This is more specific glorification in terms of how the Lord himself is traveling. Sorry, himself is traveling in the form of Siddharupas. Now Prabhupada glorifies in terms of taking the form of this Siddharupi, Siddha, yogis, jnanis, karmis. Prabhupada talks about that aspect. How they are, initially they were yogis and jnanis, but they became bhaktas. We have read in third canto that how they became attracted to the personality of Godhead by smelling the lotus and the tulsi leaves that are there on the lotus feet of the Lord. The fragrance when entered into the nostrils. Sanksho mumaksharusham apichitta tanvo. So that's how they became great devotees, and Prabhupada explains that aspect. Yeah, the word Atmavatam is significant in this verse. So then Prabhupada explains about Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari. Uttamadhikari means Mahabhagavat. How these personalities became Mahabhagavats. That's what Prabhupada, the main point here, to make us understand this. He explains about qualifications and the qualities of three personalities. And he says Kumaras, however, were Mahabhagavats, because after scrutinizingly studying the absolute truth, they became devotees. They were initially attached to impersonal aspect, but when they smelled the tulsi, touching the lotus feet of the Lord, the fragrance when they entered, so and everything is changed. They attracted to the Lord. And then Prabhupada writes about how, please read these few lines, highlight lines. Everyone is trying to.
Everyone is trying to elevate himself to the highest position according to his mentality. The karmis who have a bodily concept of life try to enjoy sense gratification to the utmost. The jnani's idea of the highest position is merging into the effulgence of the Lord. But a devotee's highest position is in preaching all over the world the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the devotees are actually the representatives of the Supreme Lord, and as such, they travel all over the world directly as Narayan because they carry Narayan within their hearts and preach his glories.
Mm. So everyone trying to elevate himself to the highest position according to his mentality. So everybody, according to their mentality, they try to come to the topmost position. Just like we hear the story of Prabhupada was asking a person in a company, when he was meeting, I think Dynipan company people, there was a meeting. So after the meeting, all the officials went. One person was staying back. So Prabhupada was asking him that, oh, what is your final goal? What is your goal? Then this person took out his the visiting card from the bottom of the stack, which was kept on the table, and kept on the top of the stack. This is my goal, that I want to become top in this company. So according to their mentality, everyone is trying to elevate himself. So similarly, we see that one time there is a small story that one old lady was carrying a lot of load on her shoulder. She was bringing a lot of dry wood from the forest to home, and it becoming very heavy. And after coming certain distance, she was thinking, "Oh, if only if someone can help, then it will be very good for me." So she called out to Lord, "Lord, please help me." And to her surprise, God only manifested. Then she asked, "Oh, what do you want?" He called me. "Could you please change the burden from this shoulder to this shoulder?" So that is the kind of mentality right now. So God appeared before him, and she could have asked everything. I mean, why to ask to change the shoulder from one shoulder to other shoulder? So that is the mentality. The consciousness is just stuck there only. So that is the nature. So everyone is trying to elevate himself according to the position, according to the mentality. So that is the material conditioning. But only devotees can help us to raise above all these conditionings, because they carry Lord Narayana within their hearts. Swantasthena Kadabuddha. So then Prabhupada explains who generally these people think that they becoming Narayana only. Danda grahana matrena Narayano bhavet. Just by accepting sannyas or the sannyas danda, one becomes equal to Narayan. That's what Mayavadis think. So, but how, though spiritual master is as good as Supreme Lord, but he is not becoming Lord only. Though this verse saying Lord is only roaming around in the form of Siddharupis, but it's not exactly in the comparing or becoming the Lord, the devotees, but they're representatives basically. So in that sense, this verse is mentioning, and Pradumara is glorifying the Kumaras, and he asked the question. So that question, the two questions are one question only basically: how we can be blessed, how we can cross over this material suffering and be blessed, and what is the solution for all people who caught up in this mess of sense gratification. So for that, Sant Kumar will give answers, and the connecting verse is spoken here. So we will start maybe in the next session. So that's how the first section we completed, at least the 1 to 16, very condensed version, very appropriate for devotees for receiving mahats, serving them, pleasing them, understanding the power of pleasing them, and asking also how to associate with them. Many aspects Prabhupada is bringing out and learning from Pradhu Maharaj. Okay, sorry, but I have little service now, so I will pause here for today. Thank you very much for your patient and enthusiastic participation.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Dandara Srimad Bhagavatam
Various examples you quoted. So grateful to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Guruji. Very grateful.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dandara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.